Thank you very much, Fred, for being a good standing with. Yeah, we really appreciate these sessions, and to all our distributors. I think Betty is going to start with the product session, then we'll go to the other business training part. So over to Betty.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for the intros. Today we are having so many. It's once again my pleasure to spend this afternoon, this evening with you. And I hope that month end is going well for you. We are also in the midst of it. And so as you may have seen from your invite, today I'm going to be speaking about heart and blood health, which is an important part, of course, of our general health. And I would just like to thank you for being here this evening. And also, I hope that you will find the information useful because, shocking as it might seem, diseases related to our circulation, that is the diseases related to heart and blood health, are actually the top killers in the world. So the top killers in the world, in fact, are not infectious diseases. They are the non-infectious diseases, of which the cardiovascular, that is the diseases of the heart and the blood, are the #1 cause of death. And these diseases are related to our lifestyle, which means that by changing our lifestyle, we can actually get rid of them. And so for that reason, I'm hoping that you will take this information as a starting point and continue to educate yourself and to be knowledgeable about what you need to do in your lifestyle, and also about how our products can come in to help us to maintain healthy blood and healthy circulation, as well as a strong, hardworking heart. So as I've said, out of the top 10 killers of human beings in the world, 7 are non-infectious. That is, they are diseases which are related to our lifestyle, which means that by changing our lifestyle for the better, we can eliminate the majority of them, or at least make them less deadly to us. So the first point, therefore, is that our heart health begins with knowledge. It begins with us making a point and seeking to find out how we can maintain a healthy heart, healthy blood vessels, and a healthy blood, because the blood circulation system is made up of all these: our heart, the blood vessels through which the blood travels, as well as the blood itself, make up the cardiovascular system. And I'm going to share with you some points of knowledge about how we can go about protecting this system. The first has to do with stress hormones. We have got several hormones at work in our bodies, and hormones are chemical messengers. They send messages to our body to tell us what is going on within the system. So 2 hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, these are hormones which are triggered as a result of a stressor. So if we have got something stressful going on, we will have cortisol. If we have something extremely dangerous and urgent, we'll have adrenaline. So these 2 are the hormones that are at the forefront of dealing with stressful situations. So the first thing I would say is we should try to find ways to resolve the stressful events that trigger the production of stress hormones. We sometimes say to manage them, but where possible, the best thing is actually to resolve them. And that is why, for example, if the stressor is your job, rather than to manage the stress by taking this or that, the best thing to do is to find a way to get out of that job situation, of which our business is often a good alternative, because you can start it as part-time while you're still working in that stressful job. And as your business grows and you're able to make a living from it, then you can leave your job and work in a more less stressful situation. So the thing that we have to think about is what is behind the stress. Stress is normally the result of negative thought processes. So the negative thought processes that I have in mind here is, for example, anger, anxiety, and fear, and others. So for example, if we get very angry, then what will happen is our body produces a hormone like adrenaline, which prepares us either to fight or to freeze or to fly, that is to run away. So when we are angry, you know that there are some people, when they get angry, they get ready to fight. And you see by the way their body is that they are preparing to fight. There are people who do not like confrontations. So when they experience anger, they want to walk away or they want to run away. And then there are people when they're experiencing anger, they freeze, they're not able to do anything. They kind of stop where they are and are not able to either run away or to fight off. So for this reason, if we find that we are spending a lot of time in an angry state, then it means that these hormones are continuously flowing about in our system. And it means that our system is constantly on red alert, which means that we are going to have problems down the line. And on the other hand, when we have a slow stress, let's say you've got a lot of deadlines or you've got a difficult job situation, then what happens is that when you wake up in the morning, you feel that like a constriction within your system. That is where we start producing the other hormone, cortisol. So this one deals with slow, continuous stress. But none of these hormones should be in our system for prolonged periods. They are supposed to come, give us the message that there is a stressor. And once we receive the message, we act on it. Then these hormones are supposed to dissipate and their effects on the body should then be terminated. However, if the situation is continuing, then of course the hormones also continue. And what will happen is that progressively there's going to be damage done to our blood vessels, substances being deposited in our blood which are harmful to us. And with time, we find that we develop a chronic illness related to this system. So for that reason, it is important for us to understand that we should resolve these triggers. Whatever is triggering our stress reaction should be something that we are thinking about ways to completely resolve it and remove it from our lives, rather than to simply manage it and keep on postponing it. Because sometimes what we do is, let's say I have got a situation which is causing me stress, then maybe the stress is manifesting as a headache. Then I take maybe some painkillers for the headache goes away. Tomorrow I do the same, the next day I do the same. I'm not resolving the stress, I'm managing the stress. There comes a point where the management is not enough, and the stress now has got an effect on a systemic effect within me, which now means that what started as something that I was trying to manage, now because of not resolving it, I now have got a major situation that I have got to deal with in a more severe or advanced way. So then the next thing I wanted to mention is the aspect of lifestyle. So we should opt for a healthy lifestyle that supports a healthy circulatory system. So when we speak about lifestyle, there are several things that we are speaking about. I'm sure many of you, maybe we have some new distributors, but many of you who have been with training for a while and with the Neolife company for a while, you know that the points of the healthy lifestyle, they have to do with what we eat, they have to do with how much we move, they have to do with whether we get the adequate amounts of sleep and rests, and a few other points. But for our interest, we need to look at what are we putting in our mouths as food. The choices that we make is going to determine how well our blood circulatory system remains. So is what we are eating contributing to a healthier cardiovascular system, or is it contributing to diseases? So for example, we know that it is important to eat plenty of fresh fruits, to eat plenty of fresh vegetables, and a fair amount of fruits. But we always say now, because a lot of the fruits have been bred to have a lot of sugar in order to make them attractive to the buyer, it is now unfortunately necessary for us to be careful about the amount of sugary fruits that we eat. So for us to maintain a healthier lifestyle, I think it is important that we increase fresh vegetables and be careful about the fruits that we take, to not be too free to take very sweet fruits. And in addition to that, we need to look at the carbohydrates that we have in our diet. We should, as much as possible, eat the non-refined carbohydrates, the ones which are in their natural states. And we have some examples we always recommend, like cassavas, yams, sweet potatoes, and so on. And these ones will give us the carbohydrates, the energy from the carbohydrates, as well as the fiber that help to keep our friendly gut bacteria well fed and in good numbers. Of course, also we should look at the quality of proteins that we take. Fish is the best protein for us. Of course, also with things like chicken, we need to look at the quality of chicken, however, where we get our chicken, because now as a result of what has happened with food production, we can't assume that every kind of meat that we get is good for us. Where we find that maybe we don't like fish, or we don't get enough fish, of course, we can take supplements like omega-3 salmon oil that I'm going to mention when I'm mentioning the products that help us to keep a healthy blood circulatory system. Then apart from the making sure that we eat the correct things that support our heart health, and there, of course, I mentioned the fresh produce, which provide us with phytonutrients. These phytonutrients play a very important role in eliminating toxic material from our systems. But in addition to what we eat, we also need to consider movement. I think we often hear that it is important for us to get a certain amount of exercise every day. This is especially important if we have a sedentary job, which requires us to sit for many hours. So we recommend a minimum of 30 minutes of exercise per day, but we have also to consider that if we are sitting down the whole day, exercising for 30 minutes is going to do little for us. We should try, therefore, to incorporate movement in our regular day. So for instance, if I'm working in an office, I should not be content to sit the whole day at my desk. I should get up every so often and move around, so that I'm not just sitting continuously. Of course, also we can join a gym if it is possible or convenient or affordable, but we can also take up just outdoor activities. If we like a certain sport, we can participate in it if the possibility is there. We can take up maybe walking, whether we are walking outside in a park or we walk in a shopping center. Anything that increases the amount of movement within our bodies. And this is because by moving, we ensure that our heart muscles get some exercise so that they remain healthy. Our circulation becomes more vigorous so that the blood is traveling throughout our bodies and so on. So it's very important to include movement in our lifestyle. And this is more, if you have got an active job, let us say you are a teacher in a nursery school, if you are running around with the children the whole day, of course, it means you are getting lots of movement. But on the other hand, if you are someone's personal assistant and you are sitting the whole day at your computer working, maybe with the phone and so on, then it means that your situations are very different. So all of us need to look at our situation. If I'm a farmer who spends a large amount of the day walking around in my work, then it's different from, let's say, if I'm a person working in a different situation where I'm mostly sitting down. Then I think it's the third or fourth item is protecting our sleeping time. So much is now being found about the importance of sleeping to our health. And so for that reason, we recommend that we protect our sleeping time, because I think formerly we thought that sleeping time was just time when we were doing nothing and we had just switched off. But I'm sure we have said in other sessions that during sleep is when a lot of important work towards the health of our body is taking place. And so in order to get enough sleep, we need to set an alarm for going to bed. The reason we recommend this is most of the time, if we don't have a specific time for going to bed, what ends up happening is we keep on doing more and more things, and then we keep on going to bed later and later, and then we have to wake up early at the usual time, and we end up not getting enough sleep, and our heart and blood health is going to deteriorate. So set an alarm for maybe half an hour before bedtime, so that you know that from that half hour, you start winding up what you're doing. You start switching off your screens. You start quietening yourself down, so that when bedtime comes around, you are in a suitable frame of mind for winding down and going to sleep. It also helps to set a time, as a constant time for waking up, so that your body gets used to that. So if let's say you set an alarm to be waking up at 5:30 or 6 o'clock every day, then you get used to that, and you get used to going to sleep at a fixed time. Our bodies have evolved to be asleep during the night and awake during the day. If we try to overturn that, there is going to be detrimental to our health. So as far as possible, to try to get to sleep by 10 o'clock and to be up by 6 o'clock. And when necessary, we make adjustments, but to have that habit so that it supports our natural system, which is the circadian rhythm, as it is called. Okay, then, so that is exercise, rest, and sleep. Then I think the last point I'm going to have here is reducing or eliminating harmful choices. We know that apart from making good food choices, there are also many things that are available for us to consume, which are actually not good for our health. And what tends to happen is that when we allow ourselves to be convinced by all the marketing and the packaging and the hype that comes from these the organizations that make these things, we'll find that we are going to cause harm to ourselves. And eventually, as I said, most of the illnesses that are killing us now are related to these choices that we are making. So rather than to be seduced by this marketing and packaging and all these things, we should actually be deliberate about our food choices. So some of the extremely harmful things that we should eliminate, not reduce, but eliminate, is added sugar in our diet. We should eliminate junk food. We should eliminate unhealthy fats, and we should reduce as much as possible refined carbohydrates, because these substances that I've mentioned, they tend to deposit fats in the middle part of our bodies. That is, our waistlines become thicker and thicker. The most harmful fat in our bodies is not the one on our hips or our arms. The most harmful fat that is an indicator of heart disease and other diseases is the one that lays around on our waistline. So as our waistline gets thicker, it means that the danger of these illnesses that we are speaking about today is getting higher. And the foods that tend towards that trend are these foods that I'm saying we should eliminate and replace them with better habits. So of course, we know that another harmful choice is choosing a sedentary lifestyle. So we've already said that if you have a sedentary lifestyle, it is important to try to incorporate movement as much as possible within where you are. Then of course, there are some bad habits such as smoking, which is already a well-known cause of various diseases, including some lifestyle ones, as well as, of course, we know that cancer is one of the unnecessary deaths that take place in human populations. So we should eliminate those bad habits such as smoking. We should also regulate alcohol intake, because we know that this is also a substance that causes more harm than good. And so where possible, it should be an occasional thing that we do. And if we maybe have, it's becoming too much in our life, we need to consider reducing it, because of course the price that we pay is that we get liver damage, we get this thickening of the waistline, our arteries and other blood vessels starts being damaged. Our blood, maybe you can find that our blood pressure goes up, and that whenever our blood pressure goes up, we know that there's something going on with both our hearts and our blood vessels. So we reduce or eliminate these harmful choices and replace them with the good choices that support our hearts, our blood vessels, and our blood itself. Then I now want to go to the Neolife side of how we can help in ensuring that we maintain the health of our cardiovascular system. The first is, of course, omega-3 salmon oil, which prevents the formation of plaque accumulating on the inside of our blood vessels. And this will help, of course, to clean them up and to lower our blood pressure. So omega-3 salmon oils plays an important role in the health of our blood vessels, as well as in the health of our other tissues and in the health of our blood. Then the second one is lipotropic adjunct, which is a preparation made from a number of substances, including vitamin B, and it prevents the accumulation of fatty deposits in our blood, and thereby makes sure that our blood is of a good consistency, which can flow easily wherever it is needed, wherever it is pumped. So lipotropic adjunct is the second and very important member of our heart health combo. And then we also have garlic allium complex, which is made from vegetables of the onion family that includes onions, garlic, leeks, and so on. And these ones also help to prevent the formation of plaque in our blood vessels and also work towards healthy blood and lowering of our blood pressure. And thereby our heart does not have to work very hard. When our blood vessels become narrow as a result of these deposits, what happens is that our heart has to work very hard to pump blood to where it is needed. It also means that our blood vessels become easily damaged. And when that damage happens, the plaque starts forming there, and we find that eventually there is even going to be a blockage. And that is how we end up with things like heart attacks and strokes, because our blood vessels have become so unhealthy. Then the next product that we recommend for heart health is coenzyme Q10, which I'm happy we now also have it not only in East Africa, but we also have it here in Southern Africa. I think we also have it in West Africa. And this helps reduce the incidence of heart failure. So it keeps our hearts working in good condition. And it is therefore an important supplement to add in the heart health mix. And then I will add the last one there as vitamin C, which helps in the repair of damaged tissues. And this includes damage to our blood vessels. So it's good to have it. We know that vitamin C does a lot of other things, but we also add it here because we know that when our blood vessels are damaged or not clean, then they easily get injured, and vitamin C is going to help in not only the repairing of the damage, but also in reducing the harmful substances that might be increasing, the toxic stuff that might be increasing in our system, because vitamin C is an antioxidant. I had a few questions which are also related to today's topic, so I'll mention them because I have a few minutes, a minute or two left. Someone wanted to know about high blood pressure, how to manage that, to bring down their high blood pressure and therefore be able to get to stop using high blood pressure medication. And we say, of course, that one needs to work with your doctor. You don't just suddenly stop taking your blood pressure medication. But meanwhile, as you are preparing to get better, things that you can do is to clean up the diet, remove those harmful foods that we mentioned, to resolve the stressors, as we said, and to get active, and also to use the products that help in heart health. So omega-3 salmon oil, lipotropic adjunct, garlic, as well as magnesium. So we now also have magnesium in all the regions. And so magnesium will help in having a healthy blood pressure. And as you take the supplements and you go for your visits or you check your blood pressure, you will be noticing how your blood pressure is going. And as your blood pressure normalizes, it will stop being necessary to take the blood pressure medication. But as I said, it's good to work with your physician for this, because they will see that your blood pressure is normalizing, and then you can ask them when it is the right time to stop taking the medication. Then another person wanted to know about what to do for edema or water retention. This is when you notice that people may have swelling in their legs, ankles, and feet, or they may have swollen fingers. And sometimes when it is very severe, even the face can be swollen. So that is when the body is retaining excess water, which can be an indicator that there may be some problem with either the heart or the kidney or both. So also sometimes it might also be from an infection, or some certain parasites may also be that. But for our own concern, of course, we don't, if there's an infection or parasites, then we recommend a visit to a doctor. But if it is related to lifestyle, then we take the supplements that will help to relieve this water retention, of which we recommend multimineral alfalfa, we recommend TRENN, and coenzyme Q10. So the multimineral alfalfa will help with the kidney and helping maintaining the amount of water, the correct amount of water in our bodies. And then coenzyme Q10, as I mentioned, helps in our heart working well. The final question was, someone wanted to know about stroke. So stroke, of course, we know is when blood vessels break up in the brain and may either cause blood to pour out into the brain itself, the brain tissue itself, as a result maybe of some damage to the blood vessels, and then blood bleeding leading to blood clots and so on. And this is going to cause damage to the brain, because blood is supposed to remain inside the blood vessels. As soon as the blood comes out of the blood vessels, it becomes something that damages the tissues. So for that reason, we recommend that to avoid this or to deal with it, we'll recommend ProVitality, which has got carotenoid complex, omega-3 salmon oil, and TRENN, as well as multi. And to that, we will add lipotropic adjunct as well as garlic. And to prevent future strokes, because sometimes a stroke will happen and then as it gets better, another stroke may happen because the conditions that caused the stroke are still going on. We also add vitamin E to prevent future strokes once the current stroke has been resolved. So I think I shall stop there because my time is up. I want to encourage you with the month end and the new month that we are just beginning, that we always keep on, because our aim is not only to make become financially independent and to make positive differences in the lives of those we come across, but also to make the world a healthier and happier place. So anytime we are doing our business, we are actually contributing to this, which means that our business is always worth doing. And so I encourage you, whatever the month of January brought to you or me, we still need to go out and do what we do best, which is to spread the news about our Neolife products and our Neolife business. Thank you very much. Let me hand you over to Pascal now. And all the best to all of you in your goals for February.
Thank you very much, Betty. I think that now we've got some knowledge about dealing with a healthy heart, having healthy blood. But now, in the next session, I want to discuss with you or share some information with you that will help you build your team. I mean, some of you are new in the business, I think, who have not been long in the business. Some of you have been in the business for a long time. And if you are new in the business, you want to know how to take your steps in the business. What is our marketing plan? What does our marketing plan actually say about taking steps in the business? So what I want to share with you is, how do you take steps in the business? If you're new in the business and some of these terms may not make sense to you, maybe speak to your upline sponsor. They will show you what these terms mean. But I assume that most of us who are attending this session, you have a good idea on what some of the terms we use in the business are. For example, PV, BV, manager, senior manager, executive manager, and all that stuff. So if you will permit me, I want to share the screen with you to discuss with you something about taking your steps in the business. I think that the last few sessions we've had, what we are discussing is how to build the business, the basics of the business. First, how to retail products. 2, how to build a team, name list, how to invite people professionally, how to share the plan, how to follow up so that you can close your prospects. Then we discussed about how to build the correct structure so that you can have a strong and stable business. So in this session, I want to discuss with you what you really need to aim at. What is it? How do you need to take the steps? You see, the session I'm going to do after this is called teamwork. In this business, if you want to grow very fast, depend on yourself. But if you want to build a stable and long-term business, work with a team. That's how our business is structured. What is the first thing we do in our business? The first thing is doing our business, how the business works is we use the products. All of us need to use the products. Very simple reason, we're supporting our business. The next thing is we share the product. It simply means the people who are not in the business become our customers and we make a profit. We also earn points. The third thing we do is share the business opportunity. Now, sharing the business is when you start building a team. The next thing we do is get the skills, training. You train at 3 levels. One is the product training, the one, for example, the one that Betty has done just now. 2 is a skill of actually building the network. And then 3, the skill of becoming a leader on the business. Now, the first step is if you're new in the business, the goal is to do at least 100 PV, you become a qualified distributor, 100 points or 100 PV. That is how to become, that is just some of the products that you can use to build your 250 PV unit. But I want to go straight to how to take the next step. The next step is becoming a manager. How do you become a manager in the business? You become a manager when you do single order of 250 PV in your name, or 500 PV with your group, but you need at least 100 PV. Then you become a manager in the business. That's when you start earning a commission of 3%. The next step is to become a senior manager. What is a senior manager? A senior manager is somebody who has done 1,000 group PV, at least 100 PV in your own name. The other way to become a senior manager is to do 500 personal PV. Then you become a senior manager. But in the marketing plan, to become a senior manager, you need to do 1,000 group PV, at least 100 PV in your own name. The next thing is to become an executive manager. Executive manager is somebody who has done 2,000 PV with their group, and they have at least 100 PV in their own name. But the model that I find that is very, very powerful to build a large team is to use 200 PV, personal PV units. In this example, you do 250 personal PV, you've got a senior manager in your group, and you have 3 other managers. If you total up all this, you get more than 2,000 PV and you become an executive manager. From becoming an executive manager, your next goal is to become a director. A director volume is 4,000 PV. Of course, in our marketing plan, there are various ways to become a manager. From senior manager, the next step is you need to accumulate 4,000 PV with your entire team, but over a 6-month period. There is a fast track way of becoming a director. You need to do 250 PV personally. Then from there, you need to maintain that 250 PV personally, but accumulate 4,000 PV with your team. And then the month you do that, you become a director in the business. As they say, life begins as a director. When you become a director, there are many benefits. You go for a leadership training. You get a second type of bonus once you start building directors in your group. So there are very many benefits of becoming a director. From a director, the next is to become an emerald. Emerald simply means you maintain 4,000 PV for 3 months and you become an emerald director. There is also incentive for becoming an emerald director. If you're new in the business, speak to your upline director or upline leader that will show you how to become. an Emerald Director. After an Emerald Director, the next thing is to become a Sapphire Director. That means a World Team Member. A World Team Member is, to become a Sapphire Director, you need to maintain 10,000 PV with your group for 3 months out of 6, but one person in your downline is a director. In this example, you've got the person at the top is a director with 4,000 group PV. Then you have also 4,000 group PV in your team, and you've got other directors, senior managers and manager, and your total PV is 10,000 points or more maintained for 3 months. The next one is to become a One Ruby Director. One Ruby Director simply means that you've got 20,000 group PV, you maintain that for 3 months, but you have 3 different director legs. Then you become a One Ruby Director. A One Ruby Director, you've got 3 director legs, you've got a total of 20,000 group PV, and you maintain that for 3 months. If you do that, you attend a Ruby orientation school. The last few years it's been held in Johannesburg, where you meet top Ruby directors from the African continent, and you really share ideas on how to build this business. From One Ruby, the next is to become a Two Ruby Director. Two Ruby Director simply means that you've got a network doing an excess of 30,000 group PV. You maintain that for 3 months, but you've got 4 director legs minimum. Okay, so you maintain 30,000 PV, you've got 4 director legs in your network, and you have maintained that for 3 months. If you do that, then you become a 2 Ruby Director. The next one is a 3 Ruby Director. 3 Ruby Director means you have a group PV of 50,000 PV. You've got you maintain that for 3 months, and you've got 5 director legs. If you do that, you become a 3 Ruby Director on your way to become a President's Team Member. In this example, you've got 4 director legs. In fact, this example, you have 5 director legs, but your group PV is more than 50,000 PV. That will become a 3 Ruby Director. From there, you join the elites. The elite is a 4 Ruby Director, become a President's Team Member. Your income is in excess of $5,000 a month. And to do that, you have 100,000 group PV. You maintain that for 3 months, and you've got 6 director legs minimum. That is how you become a 4 Ruby Director or a President's Team Member. These are the way you take your steps. If you're a new distributor, or if you're a manager, senior manager, and you want more information, speak to your upline leader. They will show you how to take your steps in the business. Now, this is important because our business is made of teamwork, because that is my next topic. Teamwork is being able to leverage our efforts, our time, and our skills so that we can build a team of distributors, and the larger your team is, the more successful you're going to become. You cannot take any of those steps I've been talking about without building a team. So the key thing in our business is building a team. You need to learn how to build a team, and there are some dynamics that you need to have to be able to build a strong and vibrant team. How do you do that? I want to share with you a few ideas on how to build a team, because this is what makes our business really exciting and make our business really grow. So let me share the screen with you on some of the ideas to think about on how to build a team. As I say, the team makes the dream work. You can't build a long-term success in business. I think in any type of business, you can't build a long-term success without having a team. But this is especially true of our business. Our business requires you to build a team. There are many books which write about teamwork. One of the books that is very good for this is John Maxwell's 17 Laws of Teamwork. It gives you some very good ideas on how to build a team. But I want to share with you a few things that I think are very, very, very important on building a team. The first thing you need to build to create a large and functioning team is create a common vision. If you want to know that you're a leader, just check if the people in your team have caught the vision of what you want to do in the business. For example, the vision of Neolife is to make the world a healthier and a happier place. That's why we do product training. That's why we have health supplements, so that we can make the world a healthier and a happier place. But happiness also comes with generating good income. Money is not the most important thing, but it makes a big difference in your life. So the first thing about teamwork is create a common vision. Create a vision for your team, and don't just keep it to yourself. Share with your team what your vision is. What is it you want to do in 2 years, in 4 years, in 5 years? How large a team do you want to build? You know, when Jerry Brasfield started this company in 1958, little did he know what this business could be. Now, Neolife operates in 50 countries, okay? Because he had a vision. So create a vision. A vision and a goal are different. A goal is something specific you are aiming at. A vision is the ethics of the journey towards that goal. So a vision is something that is written in your heart. A goal is something you want to achieve in the external. So a vision has to be written in your heart. If something wakes you up at 3 o'clock in the morning, when you think about it, that's a vision that wants you to achieve something. So the first thing about teamwork, create a vision. The second thing is treat your team with great respect. You know, in this business, the only people who help you grow your business and earn a lot of income is your team. If you don't have a team, you have nothing. So treat your team with great respect. You know, all of us know about the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. That's a very important goal in life, because if you treat others the way you want to be treated, life will be very good for you. But I want to go one step further and says, treat others better than you want to be treated. If you do that, you will see how you will get a great team in your business. Treat others better than the way you want to be treated. If you do that, you will actually have an incredible team, and there will be bond in your team, there will be loyalty if you treat others better than the way you want to be treated. The third thing about teamwork is create an identity. Have a team identity. For example, we are part of the Greater Eagle team, started by Charlie and Alta Bolton. Hansi has got his own team called the Marshall Eagles. Judy and Jerry has got a team in East Africa called the East African Eagles. So create a team identity that identifies your team. And when people, you see, the nature of the human person is that we always want to belong somewhere. Either we want to belong to a family, or if you're in a different country, we belong to a country, or if you're Neolife distributors, you are part of a Neolife company or the family. So create a team identity that signifies only your team to create bond in your team. The fourth thing about teamwork is communicate with your team to build trust. One of the most important things that you need in your business is to create trust. Trust is when people can actually count on you to be there for them or to do something they ask you to do. You will not always do everything they ask you to do, but if they know they can rely on you, that is good communication. And communication is a two-way street. The information you pass to your team and the information the team passes to you. It's not just a one-way team from the leader to the team, but it's a two-way street. Communication is when information flows from one person to another, but with understanding. Sometimes we speak and we think that people have understood what we are saying. That is rarely the case. That's why one of the most powerful skills you can develop is a capacity for listening. Listening is not an easy thing to do, because when you listen to people, sometimes you can change your own perspective, or you can change your stand. So learn how to listen carefully to people, what they say and what they don't say. Sometimes, in fact, what they don't say is what is very important in building a good team. Number 5, keep a high morale in your group. Keeping a high morale simply means that if you're a leader, when you feel excited and up, speak to your downline, speak to your team. If you're feeling down, speak to your upline leader. That's a simple rule in our business. If you're up, speak down. If you're down, speak up. Why? Because the people in your downline are expecting something always positive from you as a leader. But sometimes things are very tough. That's why we say, keep your morale high by 1. If you feel up, speak down. If you feel down, speak to your upline. And always keep a positive attitude in your team. And the reason for that is life is negative in any case. There's a lot of negative information going on around the world. Don't download this information to your group, okay? So keep a positive attitude. And the last thing I'd like to share you is recognize your team. You know, one of the things that people crave for so much is recognition. That's why in this business, recognition takes a very, very important element of our business. Recognition time, when people do something, when they achieve a small step, recognize them. When people take their steps, make a big deal out of it. That's very, very, I think one of the people who has really mastered this thing of recognizing people in the team is Grace Chege. I see always in the Facebook, Grace Chege recognizes people in their team, wherever they are. They take a manager step, senior manager, and all that. So I think all of us need to learn how to recognize our team for the little that they do, because that little makes a big difference. If you recognize people in your team, you don't have to worry about your own, because it is just a matter of time before you make your next step. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are some of the few ideas I wanted to share with you about teamwork and about taking your step. So I know the month of January has ended and the month of February has started. So set new goals for the month. 3 areas. 1, your personal PV. Number 2, the number of people you want to sponsor or recruit in the business. And number 3, the steps you want to make in the business. If you do that, just keep those simple goals, and every day get involved in income producing activities. And if you get involved in income producing activities, your business will grow. What are the income producing activities? Talking to people either to become customers, talking to people to become distributors like yourself. So with those few words, I really appreciate the time that you spent with us this evening. I wish you the very best in the new month that has come, that you're going to push your business to the next level. So Paul and Fred, I don't know whether I should close the meeting and thank everybody who has attended this meeting, because Paul and Fred are somewhere challenged on traffic. They didn't get to their destinations on time. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. God bless you. We appreciate the time you spent with us. Good night.